Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Olin Joynton, president of Alpena Community College. My guest this morning is an Alpena Community College alumna, Lisa M. Dietlin.
Hey,
welcome to
Olin,
the show,
great
Lisa.
to see you.
Good to see you,
Good morning to you, too.
And so there are three different topics we want to cover in the interview this morning. The first of all is your company, Lisa M. Dietlin Associates, a philanthropy consulting business located in the great city of Chicago.
It is. And
tell us what's all that about.
Oh, it's a great company. It's a great field. You know, in this time of our lives, nonprofit sector and philanthropy is just growing by leaps and bounds. You know, there's 12 million people that work in the nonprofit sector, Olin. That's 9% of the workforce. That's more than the automotive industry. That's more than the oil and gas. That's more than the electronics industry. And nobody's talking about it. And, you know, there's 1.5 million nonprofits throughout this country. And that's about doubling in the last 12 years. So very excited. And my company helps people and nonprofits do better philanthropy. Oftentimes people feel like they gave the money and where did it go, or what happened to it? And my company helps both nonprofits when they ask and receive it to do a better job of that, and for people who are being asked to really pick and choose those causes that are nearest to their heart.
So if I have some wealth and I want to give it away, I could contact your company. You tell me, well, this firm over here or this nonprofit association does a really good job. Here's what they focus on. Here are the results, and I could put my money there with confidence.
Absolutely.
That's good.
You know, we have people from throughout the country call us, and it could be people with a little bit of money. I had a call from a woman who owned a company. It was $5,000 and 16 employees, and they wanted to look at where in the Chicagoland area they could make an impact, and they wanted to help children and maybe with clothing. So we identified some nonprofits in that sphere. Another one was a very wealthy individual who had divorced his wife and had some assets and didn't have children, didn't have a house of worship, and was mad at his alma mater, which we know can be tough as, you know,
it wasn't ACC, was
No, it was not. It was not ACC at all, because you guys do a great job. But he needed some help, and he wanted to talk about what was important to him, what he cared about, what he valued, and we identified some nonprofits that he could consider.
Well, that's great. As we know, philanthropy is not just for the wealthy, it's for everybody, and it's nice to see that your business deals with a person who, at a small scale or a large scale, that's wonderful.
It really does. You know, we work with entertainers who will say, I want to perform in concert or give so many tickets away, or, you know, so much of every CD sale. And also on the nonprofit side, you know, how do they approach individuals? We often think about going to the big corporations. We think about going to GM or Chrysler or Ford or Dow Chemical, Dow Corning, Abitibi when it was here, you know, DPI. We think about going to those corporations when really it's individuals. That person who gives $10 a month, that person who gives $100 a year.
Well, during hard economic times, sometimes people wonder how philanthropy could be doing well. But we got to recognize, as you know, with the retirement of the baby boomers, we're engaged in the largest transfer of wealth in history of this country as people get older and decide how they're going to disperse their assets. So it sounds like a good business to be in at this particular time.
Well, U.S. News and World Report said it's one of the best businesses to be in, that actually being a fundraiser, which we don't raise funds, but we help people who do either raise them or the people who give away the money. It's one of the best career choices of the 21st century.
That's great. Now, you not only direct your own company, but also you're an accomplished author, and I just want to hold up for the TV audience a couple of your books. One of them is called Transformational Philanthropy.
Right.
And the other one is called Making a Difference, which is a sort of a daily thought for the day.
A thought for the day about people.
Very inspirational.
Absolutely.
How did you get going in the book writing business?
Oh, you know, I could say that it's been a long-held dream, but it's probably been a short-held in my adult career path. One of the things I kept coming across were people, my clients, especially in the nonprofit sector, saying, can you write that down? You know, that piece of advice you gave, can you write that down? Can you share that? And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess I could, but you know, for me it was just everyday business practices. For instance, for people in the nonprofit sector, I say, call 3 donors a day. They go, well, don't you mean I have to call 300 a day? I go, no, 3. 3 a day is 15 a week is 60 a month. So we would make recommendations. So that's how the first book came about, just a real practical how-to guide. And then also I had the privilege of interviewing 23 entrepreneurs throughout the country about why they give away money. The second one was that somebody challenged me and said there wasn't enough to talk about philanthropy every day. One of my goals is that we eventually have a giving network. We have a food network 40 years after Julia Child had the first cooking show, and I'm thinking we should have a giving network about all the different ways and all the different charities and nonprofits. And they said, Lisa, there's not enough to talk about.
Just a regular TV show.
Right, just regular TV shows. And I said, they said there's not enough to talk about. And so every day I write a tip.
You proved it.
I did. And now the second one, which you got a preview of earlier this summer, is coming out later this month.
Well, that's wonderful.
So I absolutely love writing books.
That's great. Now, 2 or 3 years ago, you were honored by Alpena Community College as a fellow of the college. It was wonderful to have you at our commencement ceremony, being an inspiration for the graduates and deliver a speech. And then, most recently, you have joined the Alpena Community College Foundation Board of Trustees.
Yes.
And you are now going to be helping us as we raise money for the college for special projects, scholarships, capital improvements on the college, grants to faculty so that they can go more deeply into their fields and impart their knowledge better to students. What was the motivation behind your joining our foundation board?
Well, I believe that those institutions or organizations that help you should give back to. And Alpena Community College certainly helped me on my career path. I often tell people the story that I had access to professors. I didn't have graduate assistants or TAs. I had full-fledged professors teaching my classes, so that when I went to Michigan State for my upper classes, when I was a junior and a senior, that I wasn't afraid to go talk to the professors and challenge them a little bit. And Alpena Community College is such a rich resource in this community, and it's helped my family, that I thought it was really important to give back. And of course, when I was honored, I had created the scholarship in honor of my parents, who both attended ACC. And then I thought, well, there has to be something more I can do. And I just think at times in our lives, we need to give back. So I'm absolutely thrilled. My company works with a lot of community colleges in Illinois. So I thought, well, why not take that knowledge and impart it back in the community that I grew up in?
Well, your leadership on the board is much appreciated, and the motivations that you describe are the kinds of things that get me out of bed every morning.
Wow, I'm thrilled.
And come on campus excited to further the work that we do, benefits so many people. So
my mom often says, Lisa, how can you beg people every day for money? And I say, I don't beg them, Mother. I give them the chance to change the world.
What an opportunity. Well, thank you very much for being my guest this morning.
Oh, loved it.
And we'll do great things together.
And we'll see you at the next board meeting.
That's great.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Olin Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.